Welcome to another deep dive, and let's be honest, today's topic is one that can make even the most tech-savvy among us feel a little lost sometimes.
Yeah, I get that.
AI. It's everywhere, right?
It really is.
It feels like every day there's a new breakthrough, a new headline, and a whole new glossary of terms to try and wrap your head around.
It's true, the field is moving incredibly fast.
Which is precisely why we're diving headfirst into Mark Heather's article, AI Taxonomy. Hot off the press today, folks. Talk about cutting edge. And one of the things I loved about Heather's take is how he challenges us to rethink AI from the ground up. He argues that it's not just about computer programs, it's something much more.
He's right, you know. The traditional view of programmers writing code to get specific outputs, that's changing. It's more about moving from a programmer-program paradigm to a prompt engineer model paradigm.
Okay, so let's unpack that for a second. What does that shift actually mean? From programmers to prompt engineers? Is this just semantics, or is there a deeper change happening here?
Oh no, it's a fundamental shift in how we understand and interact with AI. Heather suggests thinking about these AI models less like computers and more like human brains, trained on this massive scale of data. And just like two people can look at the same information and come to different but equally valid conclusions,
Right.
two AI models can do the same.
It's like asking two friends for restaurant recommendations. One might say, hey, you got to try that new Italian place. The other's like, no, Thai is the way to go this time.
Exactly.
Both great choices.
Exactly. Both great choices, just different perspectives based on their, well, training in a way. And that's highlighting the evolving role of someone working with AI. Instead of writing line-by-line instructions, prompt engineers are crafting inputs to guide the AI's responses. It's learning, less dictating, more directing.
It's almost like AI whispering in a way.
Yes.
And that feels like a really important distinction to make, especially for anyone working in a field that's being touched by AI, which, let's face it, is almost everyone these days.
Yeah.
And speaking of fields being touched by AI, the speed at which GPT itself is evolving is mind-blowing, right? We've gone from GPT 3.5 to 4 to 4, like boom, boom, boom.
It's been a whirlwind, that's for sure. But the really fascinating thing is the jump in reasoning power we're seeing with each version.
Okay, yeah.
Heather makes the point that GPT 3.5, which felt like a big deal at the time, was operating around the level of get this, a high school graduate.
Right. Capable, but you wouldn't expect it to be writing a dissertation or anything.
Exactly, yeah.
So where do things go from there?
Well, hold on to your hats, because this is where it gets really wild. OpenAI's latest, the O1 model, is estimated to be functioning at the level of, are you ready for this? A university graduate with a PhD.
Wait, whoa, hold on a second. From high school to a PhD in, what, less than 2 years? That's
the seismic shift.
That is a seismic shift, and that has to have implications across, every field you can think of.
Oh, absolutely. And this is where it's crucial to remember we're not just talking about, glorified chatbots here. This brings us to what Heather calls OpenAI's Strawberry.
Strawberry. That sounds almost cute. For something that's supposed to be this intellectually powerful.
It's an intriguing name, isn't it? Maybe a little deceptive. Strawberry is basically a nickname for OpenAI's O1 model, and it takes that PhD-level reasoning we just talked about and adds this whole other layer of enhanced problem-solving on top of it.
So it's not just processing information, it's actually analyzing problems, helping us come up with solutions. It's like having a research assistant with a PhD working alongside you.
Powerful stuff.
Incredibly powerful.
Yeah, and this is where we start to see the difference between what Heather calls single agent and collaborative multi-agent systems.
Okay, hit me with the AI explainer on that one. What's the difference?
All right, so think about a chatbot. Classic single agent AI, right? Can handle one task, like answering a question or maybe booking a flight. Now, imagine a smart home system that's multi-agent, right? Different AIs controlling your lights, your thermostat, your security system. They're communicating, collaborating to create this whole seamless experience.
So you've got single agents, like our chatbots, doing their individual thing, and then these multi-agent systems working together behind the scenes. It's like, I don't know, it's like the difference between a solo musician and a whole symphony orchestra.
Exactly.
But okay, with all this talk of increasingly sophisticated AI, how do we make sure we're not getting swept up in the hype? Because every company under the sun seems to be slapping AI-powered on their products these days. How do we know what's real and what's, just marketing fluff?
You're right to be cautious. There's a lot of noise out there. This is where Heather's advice is really valuable. He lays out these 5 key questions to ask vendors to cut through the jargon, really get at what their AI can actually do.
All right, give us the goods. What are the magic questions we need to be asking to make sure we're getting the real deal?
So first and foremost, and this is a big one, you've got to understand the level of reasoning the AI is using.
Okay.
Is it basic, more like that high school level we talked about, or is it demonstrating something deeper, something closer to that PhD level capability?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
A chatbot that can schedule a meeting is impressive and all, but it's not in the same league as an AI that can, analyze complex market trends and offer strategic advice.
Exactly. And then you want to ask about how the AI handles data privacy and security.
Right. Super important.
Hugely important. Is your information being protected? We also need to be clear about whether it's a single agent or collaborative system, and if it's capable of iterative reasoning, multi-step problem solving. These are all key.
So basically, don't just take AI powered at face value. We need to dig deeper, ask the right questions, and really understand what we're getting ourselves into.
100%.
It's about being an informed consumer in this brave new AI-powered world. It's like you need a decoder ring to cut through all the jargon and figure out what AI can really do. So let's talk about those key questions we should be asking. You mentioned figuring out the level of reasoning an AI uses. What's a good way to get at that?
You want to go beyond just the flashy demos and ask for specifics. How does this AI actually solve problems? Like, let's say you're looking at some AI-powered marketing tool. Don't just accept, oh, it'll optimize your campaigns. Ask them, okay, how? Can it analyze customer data, identify new segments, predict the most effective channels, and tell me why?
So really push them on that. Show me the PhD level thinking, not just the AI version of following a recipe.
Exactly. And that actually ties into the data privacy question, too.
Right.
Where's the AI getting its data? How's it being used? What kind of security measures are in place? If you're using AI to handle, sensitive financial data, you need to know it's locked down tight, meeting those industry standards, all that.
It's like making sure the AI is working in a secure facility, not just out in the open.
Exactly. Now, another thing to consider, is it a single agent or part of a bigger system? That multi-agent setup, like that smart home we talked about, they can handle much more complex stuff than a lone wolf AI.
So it's like having, one AI expert on your team versus a whole brain trust working together.
That's a great way to put it. And finally, don't be afraid to ask about that iterative reasoning. Can it learn from mistakes, adapt to new info? Those are signs of a truly intelligent system.
It's like, if it hits a wall, can it find a workaround, or does the whole thing just go kaput?
Exactly. That ability to adjust on the fly, that's crucial, especially with how AI is being used for such complex real-world problems now.
So, big picture time. What did we learn from this deep dive? AI is not some far-off thing. It's here. It's evolving fast. We're talking near-human reasoning, problem-solving, the whole 9 yards. And as we're navigating this whole new world, we've got to be savvy. Ask the right questions, demand transparency. This is powerful stuff.
It really is. And those collaborative systems, as they get even more advanced, they could reshape industries, even whole economies. It's a future full of potential, but we've got to be mindful of the implications. Right?
Absolutely. So to everyone listening, as you encounter AI in your own life, remember what we talked about. Dig deeper. Ask those tough questions. Because the future of AI, it's not just about code. It's about how we choose to shape it, how we integrate it into our world. That's something to think about. Until next time, keep exploring.